The Immortality Salesman, Part 2, a movie concept continued. Dave explains to the world that he is an alien consciousness in a human body. Dave undergoes every scientific test imaginable, except an autopsy, to prove his human physiology. The doctors agree he's human, but are unable to prove his alien consciousness. Every test proves he has the health, metabolism, and looks of a 20-year-old man, when in reality he could apply for the Canadian pension plan. Dave makes his offer to the world. In exchange for their 100% true life story to date, Dave will provide immortality. He makes it clear it's only the non-sexual part of their life story he's interested in and will extract. Dave, like everyone else, has enough pre-porn on the internet to satisfy any needs. The catch, this is a movie, there's always a catch, is it's all or nothing. Either 99% of adults on Earth agree or the deal is off. Dave gives the Earth a year to decide and travels around the solar system taking pictures of the planets like a Nat Geo photographer. He sends them back to Earth to show how easily he can travel through space, like a drive to the mall. Data experts look at the EXIF data on the photos and determine they are untouched and shot on a Canon DSLR with a large variety of lenses. Like Dave cleared out a camera store before leaving orbit. Dave returns and the Earth is split 50-50. The sick want immortality immediately and will gladly share their stories. The rich want immortality but don't want to share their secrets, even though Dave has assured them the stories are only for his personal use and will never be distributed. The Bible thumpers call Dave the devil and petition the government to launch nuclear missiles at his UFO. Many people secretly want immortality but are forced to side with family or friends publicly against it. Although Dave pretends he's the leader of many aliens, he is in fact alone. Although he proclaimed he couldn't lie, he's in fact an expert in the art and cannot be detected by any Earth-based lie detector device. Dave is not the first alien to visit Earth, but the previous followed the Prime Directive concept created by Gene Roddenberry. However, these aliens were voluntarily following the hands-off approach. No universal non-interference law exists, and Dave is free to interact as he pleases, regardless of the consequences. Unlike the movies that portray Earth as some fascinating planet aliens are dying to visit or observe, Earth is in fact the most boring planet in the universe, and not boring in a cool hipster way, more commonplace, a dime a dozen planet. It's well known, but out of the way, and before Dave, the last alien that took a peek was 1,000 years prior. Dave knows the likelihood of another alien arriving while he's there is slim, and most would follow the concept of the Prime Directive anyway, and wouldn't try to reverse Dave's manipulation of the globe. The Earth votes 5 times on Dave's offer, but can't break the deadlock. Dave executes Plan B. Dave goes on a long YouTube rant about how stupid humans are, and he should really just destroy the current world by deflecting asteroids left and right and let the next evolution of humans try again. But then he lies and says he can't because of the Prime Directive. Scientists who grew up in Star Trek and science fiction believe him. The religious still call him the devil. Dave creates many obscene sky paintings around the world, a type of alien Banksy, but mostly just the middle finger. As well as the first confirmed alien, Dave becomes the most hated alien or human on Earth. Neither side likes him. Dave uses his alien immortality technology on the entire planet without permission. He no longer gives a fuck. What the population doesn't know, and what Dave didn't explain in the original offer, is reverse aging is the method for immortality. Technically, Dave is offering immortality in your current body as it de-ages down to about 20. However, death is still possible when severely injured. Even alien technology can't regrow a head. Immediately, anyone near death is instantly healed enough to continue living. Then slowly, they recover from whatever ailment they possess. Dave uses his second-last escape pod to fool the planet into believing he has left. The pod is propelled by light, and when activated, it appears as a moving supernova, slowly getting smaller and smaller as it propels itself back to Dave's home planet. Dave's not concerned about wasting the pod. If needed, the final one will suffice. Dave isn't exactly welcome on the home planet anyway, and ultimately searching for a new home. The plan works. The earth is still divided, but now between is he here or did he leave? The religious believe the sudden healings around the planet are the hand of their god. The alien nuts and conspiracy theorists believe it's Dave, the alien. The governments and doctors around the world don't comment. Slowly, everyone begins to heal. Anyone over 20 begins to de-age, again slowly. Depending on their current age and health, it takes 1 to 20 years to revert to their youthful body. The medical and pharmaceutical industries are severely impacted. Cancers shrink and disappear in every patient. No new cancer cases are reported. Oncology ends. New, insanely strong immune systems slowly eradicate viral ailments and bacterial infections, including STDs. Medical professionals who want to remain in medicine are forced to move into the remaining needs. Emergency. People are immortal but still stupid, and the feeling of immortality makes them do dumber and dumber shit. Some die, the rest end up in emergency. Gynecology. Fertility skyrockets. Those past their prime suddenly begin menstruating after throwing out all their tampons. Any previous issues with their women bits are eventually fixed/regenerated. Within 10 years, a 60-year-old woman looks 20 and is in the peak of her fertility, whether she had a child or had 7 previous kids. Whether she never had a child or had 7 previous kids, who also all look 20 now. A small baby boom develops as millions of women are unexpected and suddenly pregnant. The abortion debate skyrockets. Pediatricians, needed for a few years, but once all the disease is eliminated, their usefulness as a family doctor is limited to broken bones, which is handled by emergency. If they want to continue touching children, they'll be forced to move into emergency medicine. De-aging rehabilitation, a new discipline focused on individuals who were incapacitated for any reason before the alien cure and require physical and or mental support during their journey back into their youth. The paralyzed won't walk immediately, maybe only wiggling at their toes. When their muscles and bodies have healed, they'll walk, maybe in a month, maybe in a couple of years. Each case will vary. Within 10 years, all are healed and can walk, unless they're lazy and still prefer to be pushed around. Plastic surgery, although the de-aging process eventually absorbs any excess skin from age or obesity, it takes a while, again sometimes years. The rich and the impatient opt for plastic surgery. Even though the patient would receive the same results naturally and free. The vain use the opportunity to curve, shrink, and shape parts of their body that they are unpleased with. The practice isn't shunned, as most people are near perfect looking in their new 20-year-old body anyway. An over-plasticized woman won't turn an eye. Gender change and reversal. Dave's alien technology doesn't recognize existing gender change surgeries and begins to revert the individual to their original form. Scientists are unable to remove genitals from regenerating. Doctors provide surgeries as required to remove the previous sex change during the regeneration. The trans community is outraged. However, a group of ex-doctors become scientists and discover a DNA modification that allows a person to switch their gender naturally. Their solution requires no hormonal drugs, only a modification to the DNA. However, it's not instant. To switch in either direction is a 2 or 3 year process. Once one set of organs is replaced with another, it takes time, and for a period during the transition, the patient is 50% male and 50% female. Some wish to remain this way, but the DNA modification doesn't allow it. It's all or nothing. A woman turning into a man cannot pick and choose their package. They get exactly what they would have received with their DNA, but born male. Likewise, men get the boobs they would have had as a female. If they want more, it's back to the plastic surgery. If anyone changes their mind, they can revert back to their original gender, but again, it's a 2 to 3 year commitment. Any person completing the process isn't considered trans anymore, as it's virtually impossible to tell from a biological perspective. Few in society are concerned about anyone switching genders. The whole environment is new, with 90-year-olds running around looking 20 and screwing everything in their path regardless of current or previous genders. Don't ask, don't tell is reborn. Who cares about the person's past when everyone has an eternity to live? Psychology and psychiatry is nearly eliminated. In the beginning, suicide spikes as the concept is more than some psyches can handle. Those who need to be eased into the transition are helped, but eventually their patients are limited to those who believe in the old ways, or are struggling with their new youth and vitality. Everyone else stopped going to their shrink when they started waking up in the morning and felt like living. Illegal drug use explodes. Without the fear of harming their body permanently, people experiment unsafely, many die. Instead of the collapse of the pharmaceutical industry, they are tasked to produce regulated and reliable recreational drugs. The market is flooded, but the accidental overdoses stop. Obesity is eliminated. The adults all have the sexual drive and energy of a 20-year-old and are all out exercising a few hours a day just to burn off some of the excess juice thrown through them, or they are fucking their partner all night long and burning calories the fun way. 20 years later, Dave has observed the entire process from the comfort of his ship. His ship contains the only real quantum computer on the planet. He can access any data anywhere on Earth, connected to the internet or not. Occasionally Dave steals some apples from an orchard, but is never caught, never seen again, nearly forgotten. The exception being a cult who don't like immortality and believe he'll return to end the concept and get the species back to dying like normal humans. Two groups exist, the overs and the unders. The world finally agrees on something and decides it's illegal everywhere in the world for the overs to have sex with the unders, consensual or otherwise. A clever scientist working alone on his own private island for years finds an ingenious way to enforce the law and distributes the solution worldwide for free. In addition, the device detects when a child has completed the awkward part of puberty. Unders who are past puberty for a year or two are free to openly explore their sexuality, as birth control is free and STDs still non-existent. Parents hate it, but they are unable to stop the activities. Teenage pregnancy is nearly eliminated. However, the decreased use of Kleenex tissues by teenage boys nearly bankrupts Johnson & Johnson, or General Mills, or Procter & Gamble, or whoever the fuck makes Kleenex. I'm too lazy to Google it. The unders swear by it as the way to prepare for overhood. Their logic is, once an over, any prospective mate could be vastly experienced between the sheets, or a virgin in his/her newly naturally transformed body. Anything and everything is possible. They want to be prepared. The population becomes homogeneous but not androgynous. Many opt for body modifications to stand out. The money-hungry plastic surgeons encourage it, but most people are happy to return to their youth. Universities are overwhelmed with applications. Those who felt their life was over are now restarting, reliving their original dream. Their goal is not letters after their name. Instead, they work cooperatively, and the sum of human knowledge expands nearly exponentially. Without death, the population explodes, but is managed through automation and robotics. Millions of new and existing engineers, scientists, biologists, and all the other ists invent and share via open source everything required for a planet with a population of 20 billion to support itself. And in their spare time, they help one lone wolf named Leon Smunk help colonize Mars. They assist. They assist one lone wolf named Leon Smunk to help colonize Mars. The porn industry is devastated. Nearly all the current age-based categories no longer apply. MILFs look like teens. Everyone in the world is useful and attractive to someone. If someone is alone on the planet, it's by choice or because they are still an asshole or bitch. It's not because of their looks or health. Dave's quantum computer reads the minds and gathers the complete life history of all 20 billion people. His AI filters out the gratuitous sex, but keeps a few romantic scenes for Dave's personal spank bank. Dave instructs his AI to create as many 3D VR simulations as required to keep Dave entertained until he reaches the next planet, many thousands of light years away. Dave checks the AI's creativity, and once he's happy with the quality and quantity of experiences generated, Dave leaves orbit, never to return. However, before he leaves, he paints one final air finger over the White House. 40 years later, a group of scientists figure out how to reverse Dave's anti-aging DNA modification. The world is divided again between the lifers and the agers. Earth becomes interesting again and is visited by different aliens. Aliens who, unlike Dave, don't modify the entire planet's DNA for their own entertainment. The new aliens explain Dave is a bit of a dick. The new aliens explain Dave is kind of a dick in the universe. They tolerate him because his ship is somehow undetectable and because he doesn't directly destroy worlds. Sometimes he even improves them. They tell the Earthlings to be glad he didn't use his lie detector modification, a hidden organ that grows after the original DNA modification, one that tingles when anyone lies to you. The bigger the lie, the greater the tingle. It's not specific, it can't identify the exact lie, but it helps separate the scumbags from the sweethearts. That modification nearly destroyed a few previous worlds. Luckily, other aliens arrived to sort it out. With 40 years of new science in the study of physics, Earth has nearly solved the theory of everything. The new aliens believe they are close enough and release the missing parts of the formula. Leon Smuck uses the formula to create ships capable of traveling to the nearest solar system without the need for multi-generational crafts or hibernation. He leads the first group. With the toe figured out and humanity figured out, with the theory everything figured out, humanity replicates how Dave the alien was able to transfer his consciousness into and out of other species. Scientists transfer consciousness into the clones of the original person. Even death by accident is now eliminated. The movie ends with the same scientist who solved the over-under detection issue working alone on his island to extract the consciousness of the dead via so-called junk DNA, including any direct relatives. End of story.